3, ecological factor. Then we have the first lesson, biotic factors. Introduction. Hello everyone, welcome to Unit 3 of our lessons. We'll be covering the natural and artificial factors that affect the ecology. In today's lesson, we shall begin with the biotic factors. Sometimes it's considered biotic when a living thing in the system can affect other organisms. This can be anything from bird, plankton, trees, algae, and even large animals. The category includes anything that is living and hence can participate in the ecosystem. At the end of the class, you should be able to define, explain biotic factors, highlight the positive interactions among organisms, differentiate between commensalism and mutualism, list and discuss the negative interactions. The keywords here are mutualism and commensalism. Ecological factors are factors in the environment that affect living organisms in the ecosystem. They are the factors that cause changes in the habitat. Ecological factors are classified into two, namely biotic and abiotic factors. Abiotic factors, all living beings constitute the biotic component of the ecosystem. Producers, consumers, and decomposers are the three main categories. Biotic factors include all the living beings interacting with each other to shape their environment. Significance of ecological factors. The significance of ecological factors are as follows. Ecological factors of different habitats help to develop mathematical models to relate the interaction of parameters and to predict their effects. Ecological factors are related to the evolutionary development of organisms. The distinct characteristics of plants and animals that empower them to be successful under a prevailing set of environmental conditions are called adaptation. Ecological factors play an important role in morphological, psychological, physiological, and behavioral adaptations in organisms according to their surroundings. The interdependency is reflected in their interactions mainly for food, space, reproduction, and protection. These interactions among them are broadly classified into the following categories. We have positive interactions. 2. Negative interactions. Now let's talk on positive interactions. These are beneficial interactions. Positive interactions can be classified as follows. We have mutualism, which is the association of two species in which both species are benefited. Mutualism is demonstrated by nitrogen-fixing bacteria, in which living in the root node of legumes, the bacterium fixes atmospheric nitrogen, makes it available to the plant, and in exchange derives nutrition from the host. In oblate mutualism, species are entirely dependent upon each other, and neither species can survive under natural conditions without other. For example, algae and fungi, components in leeches. The fungi provide protection to algae, and algae prepare food for the fungi. We have facultative mutualism. Both the interacting species are not strictly dependent on each other. It can be illustrated with an example of a sea anemone, which gets attached to the shell of the hermit crab. The sea anemone attach on the back of the crab, providing camouflage and protection to the crab. The sea anemone attaches on the back of the crab, providing camouflage and protection to the crab, and in turn the sea anemones is transported about reaching new food sources. The second one of it is commensalism. It's a relationship between the two species where one species is benefited while the other neither benefited nor harmed. The species that derive benefit is called the commensal, while the other species is called the host. Commensalism can be demonstrated with the example of suckerfish and hawk and shark. The suckerfish attached to the shark's surface and dispersed to the distant area with a better food supply. In exchange, the shark does not get any benefited from the suckerfish. We have negative interaction. It is an association in which one species is benefited while the other is harmed. This can be classified as follows. We have predation, the interaction between the species which involving killing and consuming the prey is called predation. The species that eats the other is called predator, and the one consumed is called prey. The herbivore-carnivore interaction illustrates predation interactions in a food chain. Pitcher plant capturing insects is an example of the prey-predator relationship between plants and animals. The predators keep on check on the population size of the prey. Competition is an interaction between the two species where both suffer adverse effects or both are harmed, known as competition. It occurs when the resources for survival are in short supply. Competition is basically of two types. The first one is interspecific competition, which is between individuals of different species. We have intraspecific competition between individuals of the same species. Parasitism. It is an interaction of species in which one typically small organisms, the parasite, lives in or on the large species host to obtain nutrition. It also involves shelter in addition to deriving nutrition based on the host-parasite relationship. Parasites are of two types, namely holoparasites and hemiparasites. Holoparasites are total parasites that are dependent on the host for their complete nutrition. Cuscuta is a complete stem parasite of the host plant Acacia, and Belanophora, Orobanchi, and Rafflesia are the total root parasites found on higher plants. The organisms that derive only water and mineral from their host plants while synthesizing their own food by photosynthesis are called hemiparasites. They are also called partial parasites. Examples include Viscum and Loranthus are partial stem parasites. Santalum, sandalwood, is a partial root parasite. Now, we talk on amensalism. Is an interaction in which one species is inhibited while the other species is neither benefited nor harmed. The inhibition is done by the secretion of certain chemicals called allelophatic substances. Amensalism is called antibiosis. Penicillium naternum produces penicillin to inhibit the growth of a variety of bacteria. That is all for today's lesson. Here are the key points. Biotic factors in an ecosystem comprises all living organisms. These organisms interact with each other and the abiotic factor in an ecosystem. Now, you should be able to list two positive interactions, the four negative interactions. I should be able to differentiate between commensalism and mutualism. explain biotic factors. So that's the end of our today's class. Stay blessed and God bless you all.